Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'll be comparing two Dyson stick vacuums at the opposite ends of the price spectrum, the V7 Motorhead and the V11 Torque Drive. The V7 Motorhead is one of Dyson's least expensive options, while the V11 Torque Drive has a premium price tag and up there with the V11 outsize. Despite the price difference, the V7 and V11 do have some similarities, so stick around to the end. So I've put these vacuums through a series of tests to see which is better, and the V7 was surprisingly better at portions of it. Let's start with the design. You can clearly see the difference between the two at first glance. The V11 is much bigger than the V7 in terms of size and weight. Since the release of the V10, Dyson has focused on increasing power, runtime, and dustbin capacity. The realignment of the dustbin factors into these changes. The V11 has a horizontally aligned dust container, which enabled the larger capacity of up to 0.77 liters, one of the largest among stick vacuums. Only the V11 outsize and the Shark Ion P50 has more. Unfortunately, the larger frame of the V11 adds considerable weight. It tips the scales at 6.68 pounds, a high number for a cordless stick vacuum, and most of it is at the top where the dustbin, motor, and battery are located. The extended frame also makes it impractical to use as a handheld, as it is challenging to use in cramped zones. This is where the V7 excels. Its compact body is light, only weighing 5.45 pounds, making it a better alternative as a handheld. The V7's lighter body and smaller cleaning nozzle allows it to maneuver around smaller spaces better than the bigger and heavier V11 with less arm fatigue. Both have the same trigger, but the similarity ends there. The V7 has a slide switch for toggling between two power settings, while the V11 Torque Drive does away with it and utilizes an LCD screen, providing users with real-time information with runtime, power, error codes, and more. The animal version doesn't have the interactive screen, but an LED screen with icons to give the user a heads up about cleaning modes, blockages, and maintenance reminders. There's one button in the middle for toggling between three different power settings, low, auto, and max. One feature not available in the V7 is the dynamic load sensor. When you select the auto setting, a sensor in the cleaning nozzle detects the surface and adjusts power accordingly based on the surface type. The V11 has a bigger dustbin with a 0.77 liter capacity, while the V7's dustbin can only hold up to 0.53 liters. Both have a hygienic system, but the usage varies. With the V7, you pull a red lever up to empty the contents. In comparison, the V11 has a point-and-shoot style in disposing of dirt. Next, we'll look at the airflow. The V11 has up to 28% more, with 66 CFM at the wand and 53 CFM at the cleaning head, while the V7 has 49 CFM at the wand and 37.92 CFM at the nozzle. The airflow difference is most noticeable in the deep cleaning tests, where the V11 picked up 100% compared to the V7's 94.93% score. Even in the auto setting, the V11 got 99.97%, which is still better than the V7 in its max setting. Plus, the V11 will run for a little over 18 minutes in the auto setting, so it's the better alternative for larger homes with lots of carpet. One thing to note with the V11 is it will be harder to push on carpet, especially on the max setting with the gates closed. You could open up the gates halfway, so it's easier to move around. Also, you won't be able to use the V7 or V11 on light area rugs, even in the lowest setting. I tried and the brush won't even spin. Looking at the test results, the V11 was better across the board. One reason is the higher airflow. Another is the torque drive attachment with the adjustable gates. These slots enable the torque drive head to clean debris, small and large. Unlike the V7, the V11 is usable on hard floors, but the lack of padding may leave surface scratches. Only the V11 can pick up large debris like Fruit Loops and Cheerios with a little wiggle, something not possible with the V7. The V11 was slightly better in a sand on hard floor test, picking up 99.4% versus the 99.2% score of the V7. However, the torque drive attachment left a trail of sand in the initial forward pass. The V7 had a cleaner initial pass, leaving fewer bits of sand. This shows that the V7 had a better seal. Underneath, you'll see that the V7 has this felt lining behind the brush to funnel dirt, and the V11 does not. The difference is evident in the surface cleaning test on carpet, where the V7 surprisingly had better scores than the V11. If you look at the clip, the V7 had a cleaner initial pass than the V11, but the end result was the same, clean carpets. The V11 was also better with edge cleaning, picking up more debris in fewer passes. It has the same issue as the V7 with pet litter scattering behind the nozzle, but not as much. Next, we look at the hair wrap tests where I tested both vacuums, how it resists tangles from 1 gram of 5 to 7 inch human hair. The V11 was better with almost nothing wrapping on a brush roll. In comparison, the V7 was only able to resist tangles from the 5-inch strands, but not so much with the longer 7-inch strands. The V11 will run longer thanks to its larger capacity 3600 mAh lithium-ion battery. It lasted close to 75 minutes with the torque drive attachment on low and up to 57 minutes on carpet. In the auto setting, which in my opinion is the best compromise between power and runtime on carpet, it ran past the 18-minute mark. The V7 won't last as long, only up to 32 minutes with non-powered tools and close to 28 minutes with the main nozzle. To check how well each vacuum filters, I did a fog test. The V11 passes this test with no visible leaks. It has a sealed system with a post-motor HEPA filter keeping up to 99.97% of allergens inside the bin. The V7 motor head doesn't have a sealed system or a HEPA filter, so it leaks smoke during the test. I used a sound meter to measure noise with the main cleaning head from a few feet away. The V11 is much noisier than the V7 with up to 78.9 decibels at the max setting, while the V7 topped out at 73.9 decibels. The V11 Torque Drive has more tools out of the box with a total of 9 if you include the extension 1 and main nozzle. It comes with attachments like the combination tool, crevice tool, soft dusting brush, stubborn brush with stiffer bristles, and the mini turbo brush. The V7 only has 5 tools out of the box, with the crevice and combination tools as your only options for above floor cleaning. To conclude this comparison, the Dyson V7 and V11 are both excellent options for cleaning carpet. However, the V11 with the adjustable gates will be better for cleaning hard floors, while the V7's low clearance limits its effectiveness on this surface. Choosing one will depend on what features you will prioritize. Consider the V7 if you need something lightweight and prioritize handheld usability. The V11 is better for people looking for a stick vacuum that can pick up embedded dirt on carpet. The larger dustbin almost doubles the capacity of the V7, so you don't have to empty it as often. But it's heavier and not as user-friendly as a handheld. If this video has been helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Links are in the description for more information. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.